Cut out the distractions. Now, you're not going to believe this, but this is how I see it. This is what I deal with all the time. Christians think coming to church is a distraction. I'm like, are you nuts? Or here's the other one. I can't serve anymore. I've got to work on me. It's the prime. God doesn't take away the primary function of your discipleship so that you can go and work on glorious me. One of the ways you work on glorious you is by denying yourself, taking up your cross, and following. That's how you work on glorious you, is you crucify the flesh and your own narcissism, and you begin to do what you don't want to do. You begin to serve when you don't feel like serving. You begin to give when you don't feel like giving. It's a sacrifice. It's what it is. God, it's not a burden. Right? It's one of the things that God tells his people. They're crying out in the book of Isaiah, and they're crying out and they're asking the Lord, where are you, Jesus? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Lord? And the Lord said, where am I? Where are you? You profane my Sabbath. You call service to me a burden. You point the finger at everybody else, and you're the problem. So where am I? Where are you? The service of the Lord is never a burden. It is my joy to come here on New Year's Day. It is my joy to come here on Christmas Day. It is my joy to come here any and all days, because to stand before my Father is never a burden for me. You want your life to change? Read Isaiah 6. I think it's 61. No, it's not 61. I got to remember the chapter. I always lean on Isaiah 61. But he's talking to them about, like, why are we not changed? We've fasted. We've mourned. We've put on sad clothes. We've cried, oh God. We've cried out for pity. And God's like, it's not empathy, dude. It's change. And one of the biggest rebukes is stop calling my Sabbath. Stop calling my day a burden. Stop saying that when you come before me, you got to complain. Every time I got to get to church. It's true. It's true. Where do you live, Joanne? Homestead. Anybody live further than Homestead? Right here. Homestead. Anybody further? Who lives in North Miami? Matt lives in North Miami. You live in North Miami. How long does it take you to get here? 15 minutes? Oh, you're easy. How long does it take you to get? 45. Yeah, 45. Right? Is it a burden for you to come? I love coming. She loves coming. Matt lives in North Miami Beach. He said it's the best 45 minutes of my week driving to church. Where's your excuse? Is the Sabbath a burden to you? You want to change? Stop doing this. Stop complaining against the Lord. Stop complaining against the Lord. Get on his page. I was glad when they said unto me, David said. I was glad. Literally, the translation is running. I was running when they said unto me. David's like, we're going to hang out with Jesus? And he started running, dropped everything, and went to be with Jesus. It's all about. We're doing your wedding. We start talking to your daughter's wedding. Start talking to the wedding planner about Jesus. You know, the wedding planner was a Christian. We started talking about the Lord. And I mean, the conversation went on for an hour. The wedding planning, well, it didn't matter to you guys, but I was just like, you know, we're going to talk about Jesus. Let's go. Let's go. Christian, you've got to change. If you don't change, nothing's going to change. You've got to confront the attitudes that are in conflict with your Father. Christians think serving is do you know what's a distraction? Netflix is a distraction. Worship is not a distraction. I don't know if y'all are here. Do you see the worship that happens here? Get your groove on. Get your groove on. Develop a little shimmy. Right? You mean one of these, you know? Just get your groove on. Come running. Depression is a distraction. Trying to be everybody's emotional crutch is a distraction. But serving Jesus is not a distraction. Not now, not ever. Paul says, I press towards the mark of the upward calling in Christ Jesus. You have to feed your faith and feed your goals every single morning. Every single morning. Feed your faith and feed your goals. Yeah? I've been setting time aside. I used to do this when I was younger, and I would do it sporadically, and I've always done it, but I felt challenged to be more consistent in what I'm doing. You're like, you poor pastor. But like, I used to spend time with the Lord a lot. Like, not just reading, but hearing him. And so in the last probably 3 months, every single morning, I don't do anything. Once I get up, I go and be with Jesus every morning. and I feed my heart, I feed my faith, I listen to something until I sense his presence, and once I sense his presence, I open myself to what he's saying to me. And I begin to ask him questions, and he begins to answer me. And it's amazing the wisdom that I get. It's amazing the revelation that I get. It's amazing the perspective that I get. And it can happen for you. You got to make a margin for that. Oh, you don't understand. I got to work a job. Get up an hour early. 1 hour early, 5 days a week gives you 6 40-hour weeks in 1 year. You want to outdo the people? There you go. 1 hour earlier, 1 hour later. Spend time with the Lord. Spend time with the Lord. Honor him. I just listen. I'll listen to teaching. I'll listen to things that motivate me. I'll listen to worship. And what I'm doing is I'm getting me in where I need to be. And then once I start hearing him, I start talking to him. And I walk all the way down to the end of this street, and usually by the time I get to the end of the street, 3/4 of the way down, he's lighting me up. And so I stand down at the end of the street, at this dead-end street, and I talk to Jesus for about 30 minutes, and then I walk back. That's what I do. And you know what I've seen? Just a challenge.